My brother, Andy.
My man.
Welcome to the Parables, brother. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much for having me on the show, man.
Dude.
Actually, I should have done that right. Let me do it right. Right hand. Right hand.
I appreciate you.
I didn't want to mess up the mic. That's what it was.
I told you about the mic. They fancy. I put a lot of money into these mics, man.
No, you got a good system, man. I acknowledge you, man. I see the camera system, and you got the, like, you go all out for your podcast. You have the stuff drilled into the floor, like you got the camera set up and everything. You got a specific room. I was wondering how the setup was. I was wondering, like, do you gotta like move things out of your bedroom to make it work, or but now you have a specific room, and I acknowledge you, man. You went all out.
Hey, man, if it was in my closet, would you still done it?
I would have still done it, man. I would have still done it, no doubt.
Dude, I appreciate you guys. Andy, Audate. Man, what time is it? It is 6:40 a.m. in the morning.
Yes,
Me
sir.
and Andy just came from a workout because we are in the 4 a.m. crew. We work out together at here in Southern California in Chino Hills, Self-Made Training Facility. And it's been a pleasure, dude. We share a lot of mutual friends. We met through Sam Bakhtiar. We know Ali Zamani, Joe Coach, Edwin Adayave. And it's just us knowing them, it speaks on your behalf. Like, it's just amazing at your age, and from what I know from you, everything that you've done, and I applaud you, man. And I appreciate you coming on here again, 6:40 a.m. And I know you got a jet right after this, man. So I appreciate you making the time, dude.
Man, thank you for having me, man. Really, and you made it work, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man. So listen, this episode is gonna be amazing, and I told you this is because, like, while we're acquainted, I still don't know really your story and everything that you're about. So I cannot wait to kind of dissect your ass. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and just get to know you, dude. Like, I know you have a lot of plans. We were just talking about how you didn't have a lot of sleep last night because your mind is just like, you have a vision for what you want to do for yourself and your business. So I can't wait to dive in with you with that. And also, guys, Andy is going to be hosting an event real soon that I've been given the honor and privilege to be a part of, and I thank you for that. And we're going to be talking about that very shortly.
Yeah, the Progression Conference, man. The opportunity to progress is finally upon us. And I got my man Ejay going to be presenting at the Progression Conference on October 18th here in Los Angeles. But, it doesn't stop on October 18th. There's going to be a plethora of different events throughout the country. Mm-hmm. So even if someone listens to this podcast a year from now, they're still going to have the opportunity to experience the Progression Conference a year from now.
That's awesome, man, dude. I can't wait to dive in a little more into that. So here at the Parables, Andy, I know you have an idea, but we really want to try to get to know you. My goal here is for the audience to feel like they're sitting next to us, to get to know you and what you're about. And hopefully through our conversation, they can gain something out of it. Even if it's a small message, lessons, morals, some wisdom, just anything. Hopefully they could take something from it, apply, and become the best version of them. You know what I'm
100%.
saying?
And what I committed to you in prior to us recording was, I said that I'm going to be vulnerable, as real as possible, and give you the facts. I went and I said that in the past, because of the position that I'm in, the person that's on stage, the person that's in the limelight, to a capacity, I sometimes think that I need to have a certain image. And then I realized, I had a revelation where I don't have to have that certain image, and I get to be genuine and authentic to the point where people can actually relate and understand where I come from. So this is the first podcast in a long time that I'm going to come in and I'm going to give it the real shit, like the real raw shit.
Mm-hmm. And we appreciate that. I know my audience appreciates that. Again, I think we spoke about this. A lot of the podcast's attraction and success has been from really just that relatability.
Yeah.
And that storytelling, because again, there's people out there who want to resonate, and they could relate to what you're going through. And again, hopefully they could gain something through your story, and again, our conversation, and also us having a good time too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah, dude, let's start off real quick. Let's start off with your story. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk. Let's start with like where you grew up, and kind of slowly transition to everything that's leading up to what you're doing today.
See, one thing I noticed is my story is scripted. And I realize how scripted it is because I'm a speaker, and I teach people essentially how to create their story and how to share it, how to share the whole, 25 years, 30 years, 50 years of their life, and bring it down to 3 minutes, or bring it down to a 45-minute keynote.
Wow.
So it's always starts with the same. So whether you hear you hear me on a show here or on stage, it starts the same. raised in an impoverished area on the East Coast.
Okay.
Someone believed in me at 19 to open up a business. By 20, made $1 million. By 21, made $1 million.
Wow.
Moved to California with that money, wanted to become a speaker. I was running on Figueroa Street, the busiest street in downtown LA, listening to Les Brown in my ear. He says, you can do it. I went from running a 22-minute mile to running an 8-minute mile. And because of Les Brown in my ear, Les Brown's the #1 motivational speaker. Because of listening to Les Brown in my ear, I said, what happened to my brain that I went from 22 minutes in 1 mile to 8 minutes in 1 mile?
Yeah.
I progressed at a fast pace.
Huge difference.
What happened? I want to learn more from this guy, Les Brown. I went home, I typed in become a motivational speaker, Les Brown. Next thing you know, Facebook ads are popping up on my Facebook saying become a speaker, become a speaker. I sign up for the program. They call me. It's $5,000 for the investment to join that program. I never spent $5,000 on one thing besides my car and my business. I invested the money after overcoming fear. Flew down to Miami. I saw Les Brown in the office. The only day that he was actually in the office in a long time, I happened to be there. I said, give me a chance to be on tour with you guys. I hear you guys are going on tour. Give me a chance.
Wow.
Then they say, no, you're 21, Andy. At the time, you're 21. Get the hell out of my office. I come back 7 times. They gave me a chance on the 7th time because I was so persistent. I went on tour, learned the business of speaking. Now I share throughout the country business strategies and personal development strategies.
Dang, man. All that, that's the story right there.
That's the story right there.
Hey, man, you know I can't make it that quick, man. I want to highlight real quick, like,
you know what? You should like cut that part out and like, you know how they do the pre-roll, like they started in the beginning.
Yes.
You should cut that part out, and it's like people are gonna be consumed in like, because it's like fast. It's like the IG story where it's like quick content. It's like
Yeah,
you
it
go
is.
from left to right, left to right, left to right. So, but if we want to go like a little bit more.
just a little bit, because I want to highlight kind of who you are, because I could promise you, when we start to begin to know who you are at that young age and everything that's led up to where you are today, it starts to mesh, and we see that connection. You know what I'm saying? So, for instance, like, you know, going back to the East Coast. Okay, so I mean, like, what state or what city?
Yeah, Rhode Island. You know, interestingly enough, today I'm wearing a suit, right? Over the last couple of weeks, I'm going through a transition in my life.
Okay.
I'm going through a transition in my mindset, and I'm wearing a suit today. And I got reignited with the vision that I had of a successful man by watching a TV show. Have you heard of Power? 50 Cent's the executive producer.
I love the show. I watch it every Sunday night.
So you know Ghost?
Yeah.
So when I saw Ghost, the way that he holds himself, the way that he operates in his business, his vernacular, his mindset, his body language, that's the type of person that I emulated at a young age. So watching that show over the last couple of weeks, it reignited that person that I saw. Because essentially, when I was young, I grew up in this impoverished area where it was normal to sell drugs. It was normal to get into fights. It was normal to be in a gang. It was normal to not have money. It was normal to be average. And I had someone else to look up to. I wanted to be the boss. And the way that the boss represented himself was he was a serious person in a suit, making money, having people around him that I would say love him and care for him. Like he had people that cared for him. And I wanted to be that guy. So now I'm going back to my roots. Now that's why I'm back in a suit. If you look at content podcasts that I've done 2 years ago, 3 years ago, you see me in a suit. Every time I went to a conference, I'm in a suit. They always called me the guy in a suit. Grant Cardone's partner, Brad Lee, I went to do a podcast with him. And he said, look at this 22-year-old guy coming to my office with a suit. And I said, but this is how I represent myself. Because that's the vision that I had for myself. And over the years, by me hanging around with people who are much more successful, once you pass the level of success, you kind of relax on the way you dress because you're not trying to impress anybody. And so I got around them so much to the point where I said, I guess I don't need a tie. And then you start seeing guys who make so much money that they just wear, you know, sweatpants. Sweatpants and a shirt. And I'm like, oh man, do I need to wear a suit anymore? You know, is there like the world changing? No, the world's not changing. It's just that I just changed the people I hung around with, lost my roots. Now I'm going back to my roots of the person that I wanted to be, which is the guy in a suit. That's why I'm here in a suit today.
So do you suggest, I'm glad you bring this up, do you suggest that people who are trying to grow, trying to become an authority in their space, to definitely represent what they're trying to do, even at a young age? Or is there that mindset also that, hey, you know what, don't judge a book by its cover. I could wear what I want. Once you engage with me, then you get to know what I'm about.
The don't judge a book by its cover is based on after the fact.
Okay.
In the first 5 seconds, the first 3 seconds, a judgment's already made upon you.
So true.
So the judgment's already made. I can tell a gay man, a man is gay just by the way he was about to walk to me and shake my hand. I can tell a man or a woman that's not confident as they are approaching me. I'm like, yeah, this person's not confident. So by this person not being confident, this person probably doesn't have money. All within the first 3 seconds. So don't judge a book by its cover. That stuff is like based on after the fact. And what I mean by that is you someone who could walk up to you in sweatpants and you'd be like, why is this dude in sweatpants? And then your best friend look to your right and says, that dude's a multi-billionaire. And you're like, oh shoot, I shouldn't judge a book by its cover.
Yeah.
But realistically, we all judge a book by its cover. So
it's natural human behavior.
It's natural because we want to protect ourselves.
Yeah.
So we come up. We are dissecting people first off and saying, hey, is this person gonna hurt me? Is this person a threat? Is this person an ally? Yeah. That's what the first discovery that you make. Is this person a threat? Or is this person an ally? And if this person's an ally, then you make, you kind of go a certain route with that relationship. If this person's a threat, you go a different route. So you're automatically going to be judged. Yeah. So when I approach somebody in a suit compared to when I approach somebody in sweatpants, I'm judged differently.
Yeah, makes sense. Now, when you were going back to your story, you had mentioned that you looked up to a boss.
Yeah.
Right? Now, was that early in your, early, like when you were still growing up, like in your teens, or like where were you in your life and what industry was that?
This was way before even business, man. I don't know where it stemmed from because I didn't have the perception that I had. I didn't have that around me. The perception that I had essentially was a man in a suit that had control. This man was in a suit, had control, but you can tell there's like a sense of hood in him. So that's where my relationship came. That's where the relation came with the guy wearing earrings. So I'm like, this guy, I see like the person I want to be is a guy in a suit, like the guy in a suit wears earrings. So you can still see like there's still that hood in him, but like he's still wearing a suit and he's hanging around white people, Asian people, doing business with, and I'm in awe with this type of person. Yeah. So I don't know if I created this person in my mind, had I seen it at a young age. However, I'll tell you though, that's who I wanted to be, and it wasn't until I was 19 until I found that person.
Wow. Okay. Did you struggle like? I feel like everybody kind of, before they started molding into who they are, because clearly, I mean, I applaud you again for being, at your age and realizing all that stuff. I should have back then, but during my time there in that age, I was just fucking around, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? So, I applaud you. So, my question is, was it hard, like, to build that confidence and to kind of know your direction, or did you kind of just know already? Was there just like, were you always a confident guy? Did you know you want to speak?
Do I come off confident?
I think you do, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I was never confident. I was very timid. Okay. And the way that I overcompensated for my timidness was actually, what do you call it? I was a class clown. Okay. I was a class clown. Like I wanted attention. So the way I got attention was I was a rebel in class. Yeah. And I was constantly getting in trouble, kept going what we call in-school suspension. We were getting ISS, in-school suspension, detention, all that stuff. Sometimes the police got called on me. And because I wanted attention. I just want attention. So now I travel. I'm on a tour right now. And so I'm taking a 3-month break in between the tour in LA. That's why I'm home. But when I go back into in the field, when I travel, I'm doing a high school tour called Progression Teen, and I'm going to high schools throughout the country, and I'm going to be speaking. And when I speak to the high school, I look for the person that's the bully. I look for the person that's acting up, because I know that he doesn't want to be the person that's acting up. He just wants something that home isn't giving him. Yes. He wants attention. He wants love.
He's seeking something that's missing.
He's seeking something, exactly.
Yeah.
So I was that guy, and essentially. And I'll tell you a real vulnerable story about how I started to develop confidence. And when I was I got man boobs. And I don't know, some people are going to be like, what the hell? Like, yeah, I got man boobs. And at between 13 and 14, I wanted to kill myself. I was laying down on my bed, touching my wall. It had a popcorn wall. And I was touching the wall, and I was thinking about suicide. Like, because I didn't feel like a man. Being that young, going through puberty with essentially breast, I didn't feel like a man. And again, it made fun of in school. It didn't help.
Were you bullied? Is it safe
Yeah, I was bullied.
Okay.
I was bullied.
Okay.
You know, I was bullied. I punched some people in the face. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of aggression because of it. But it was one of the biggest blessings because that supported me in being as confident as you see me today.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm 13 years old, thinking about suicide. I decided not to kill myself. Okay. And the reason why, because I got on my knees and I prayed. The reason why I decided not to kill myself was I asked God, why did you give me man boobs? Recognizing that God, the Almighty, is the giver and taker of all things. Yes. Why did you give me man boobs? Yeah. And it didn't make sense to me. And I'm thinking about it in the most optimistic way. So I went on Google and I'm looking, because remember, my whole journey as a youth is to be successful. Why? The reason I recognize that I want to be successful is because I want to be surrounded by people. Mm-hmm. I want people to love me, and the people that are successful are loved. The people that are successful have people around them. They have influence. Yes, they have influence. They have love. They have money. They have power. So I wanted to be successful since I was young because I didn't have attention. Yeah. So I'm looking up on Google. I remember typing, like, who is successful with man boobs? Couldn't find anyone. The closest person I found was Rick Ross. Mm-hmm. I see Rick Ross. But the thing with Rick Ross, the rapper, he was overweight. That was it. Yeah. So it was different. I'm a chubby guy at the time, but I'm talking about I got titties, man. I'm like, yo, I got breasts. And I can't find anyone. And I go back to God. God, why? Like, I'm about to kill myself, man. Like, this is not worth living. Yeah. And God says, I guess, like, he caught me right at a time before I would take the inaction to hurt myself. And he said to me, I'm going to use you to be that successful person. Wow. And I
got plans for you.
Yeah. And it was right then and there I knew I was going to be successful. No questions asked. I didn't know what route I was going to. I'm 13. I didn't know what route I was going to take, but I became successful. Now here, hold on a second. So then what happened is the summer of going into high school, my friends hit me up and said, hey, let's go out to the beach. I said, okay, let's go to the beach. I want to put on a white shirt. The only thing is I don't wear white because the shadow of my breast shows how big my chest is. Yeah. So I didn't wear white. I always wore black. So I'm digging through but I want to wear white. So I'm digging through my mom's laundry, like the laundry that she cleans, and I find what she has, a tube top. Women have the thing called girdle that they put around their stomach to suck their stomach in. Yeah. It's nylon, and she has this tube top material, and I'm like, man, if I put that around my chest, does it make it smaller? So I tried it, put it on my chest, boom. Makes it smaller. I'm like, yo, I put on a white shirt, it's flat. I feel normal as hell. I go out to my friends and I just feel so normal. My chick sticking my chest out and I'm feeling happy upon happiness.
You must have felt amazing.
Oh, dude, I'm feeling like I went to girls on a different level, dude.
I love it, man.
I went to girls on a different level, man. And I remember I'm at the beach, we're taking photos and the whole 9 yards. No one notices.
And you're a different dude.
I'm a different dude.
Yeah.
Look how I'm smiling now compared to like 3 minutes ago. Yeah. I'm a different dude, and I feel good. That girdle, I did not take it off for 5 years straight.
Wow.
Every single day, my first time having sex, first time driving a car, going into high school, graduating high school, basketball practice, basketball trial, math class, every single day. Because why? How could you feel so great and then just take it off and go back to normal? Like, how could you feel so great with this thing that makes me feel like a man and then take it off and say, okay, I'm going to go back to my norm?
Yeah.
So I kept it on for 5 years. From 14 to 19 years old.
It almost felt like it was a life-changing moment for you, and it was just like all this momentum, and you never looked back. And I resonate with you because I don't know if you know this. I used to be 270 pounds. So I struggled too. I had that issues with the body image. I was the guy who went to a fucking 100-degree fucking swimming pool party with a fucking sweater on. Like, I was that dude too. You know what I'm saying? And dude, I totally understand what you're saying. So becoming a speaker, did you kind of know you already wanted to be a speaker, or did the move to the West Coast kind of confirm that?
No, this branding stuff, being a celebrity and being known in public and getting on stages, that was never in my degree.
Yeah, because I want to, like, for me, for instance, I'm a nurse, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Whoever thought I would have been a podcaster? But I'll tell you this, though. When I was young, I was actually I used to help my dad, who was a DJ, and I used to be the MC for certain parties. And it wasn't just like a real career. I would just help him out. And I think to myself, crap, like, God was preparing me to be a podcaster. So
Amen.
that's, see where I'm going at?
Question for you. Is
is
there caffeine in the drink?
No, why?
There's no caffeine in there?
No.
Man, I'm like jittery right now.
And the endorphins are still kicking from our 4 a.m. workout,
That's
brother.
probably what it is. That's probably what it is.
But you see what I'm trying to get at? I want to kind of see if there's a connection of how you became a speaker from your early childhood and the way when you grew up.
I used to be a rapper. Rap
Okay.
was my first love, still is today, man. Sometimes I go to the studio and I freestyle and we record and hold on. I was 13. I was 12 years old. I was probably like 11, 12, 13, 14. I was rapping, making music in the basement.
Yeah.
And I actually got signed. I forgot what age, but I got signed to a label, and I
Wow.
would go to that studio, and I would record. And like I was hustling to the point where I was probably 12 years old, calling on studios like, hey, could you give me a shot to record at your studio? They gave me a shot. I remember the first time I went to a studio, I brought I didn't even know what I was doing, but I just wrote lyrics down. I just had a paper full of lyrics. I didn't have a beat. So I went to the studio and they're like, where's the beat? And I'm like, oh shoot, I forgot I needed a beat. So my friend happened to have like a USB drive with a whole bunch of beats on there.
Yeah.
Put it in, we chose a beat, and I rapped that lyric over it. And that's when I was like, yo, this is what I want to do. So I started rapping, and then I ended up doing shows. I'm 13 years old, doing shows, booking shows, calling people like, hey, my name is Young A Music, and I want to come.
Young A?
Young A.
I like that.
Young A.
That. Okay.
Actually, before my name was Lil G.
Lil G? Where did G come from?
I was a little gangster.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I was a little
I
gangster.
thought you had like a nickname, like started with a G, but okay, Lil Gangster.
Nah, I was a little gangster. And then I guess my parents, they didn't like the little gangster part. So I went to Young Andy Music.
Yeah.
And then I was, doing shows. So I think that you're right. It probably stems from that desire then, and then transitioning from, like, I knew I was going to be on stage to transitioning to speaking.
Yeah. Dude, that's incredible. So again, you took a chance. You flew to Florida, right? Because you had an opportunity to be a part of a speaking engagement. Is that correct?
Yeah. So when I was rapping, that was on the East Coast. I moved to California at 21 after opening up. I own cell phone stores. So at 19 years old, someone believes in me, suggests I open up a cell phone store. I open up one store. That store turns into 4 locations. 30 employees go through my company. 14 employees at my peak. On payroll.
So there it is. Because I was trying to see, like, okay, where is this young, ambitious kind of leader starting to mold? And I see it, like, we see the confidence come in, and I see now that you made a huge move all the way to a totally different region to open up a store.
Yeah, I opened up my store at 19 when I was still in Rhode Island.
Okay.
So I'm leaving the gym, and one of the guys who was working for me so I was working at Metro PCS. Let's backtrack. I'm working at Metro PCS.
Okay.
I hire a group of people because I became a manager at 18.
Okay.
So I'm doing great in sales to the point where they're like, yo, I need you to teach whatever you're doing in sales. I need you to teach other people. So I'm 18 years old. I got 36-year-olds working for me, 24-year-old at the time, 30-year-olds working for me. I'm teaching them how to greet, how to qualify, how to present.
How did that feel? How did that feel being a young person and you're managing other people with a whole decade's worth of life ahead of you?
Stressful, man. Stressful. Still to this day, it's just still stressful. Mm-hmm. Like, it's just a bunch of stress. And I was just thinking about it yesterday, really. Like, that's probably why I gained so much weight, because I recognize that I have, like, the world on my shoulders, and I eat the world. Like, I eat the world and I put it on my shoulders. That's why I work out with you at 4:00 in the morning to remove that.
Well, but why is it stressful? Is it because there's that kind of shadow, like, as if like this, almost like that discredit, like, hey, this is a young dude. What the hell does he know? Is that why? Or
It's self-imposed stress.
Okay.
To be honest.
And we spoke about the self-sabotage a little bit too.
Yeah, self-sabotage is a real fucking thing, man.
Mm-hmm.
But it's essentially self-imposed stress where I question myself, I doubt myself, I hesitate,
Yes.
insecurities, and all of that is what. It's not really the stress of the job or stress of the action. It's more of like what my mind does to myself in questioning, am I going in the right direction? Am I doing the right thing? So to be 18 years old and I had a store in that Metro PCS dealership, we had at the time like 20 locations, and I was like the last store. So they put me there on purpose, pretty much like you either gonna win or you're gonna fail because you're at the end. And I had to make a choice, like, how am I gonna bring this store up? I ended up bringing that store up to number 2. So we go from like store 20 to store number 2 in the whole entire company.
Nice.
And the 18-year-old is running it. And so one of my employees there, we went to the gym. I was working out with him. And as we were leaving the gym, he said, I believe in you, dude. I think you should open up your own cell phone store. And I said, all right, you know what? You see, I had that fear, that hesitation, but I said, I'll do it anyway. What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah.
I'll lose the money and go back to my job that I currently at.
Yeah.
So I left my job. I put a 3-week notice in. I opened up that cell phone store in 2014, and then by 2016 we made $1 million. And then that's when I moved to Cali. So now you wanted to talk about the speaking, right?
Yeah. So you moved to Cali. How was that moving to a whole different region and opening up your own store there? Kind of like almost like you're almost low key starting over. You know what I'm saying?
Self-imposed stress, insecurities, doubt. But I always looked at it like, what's the worst thing that could happen? And even if the worst thing happens, like, is that okay?
Yeah.
So the conversation when I was in Rhode Island, see, we're going back and forth in the minds of the listener. We're going back and forth between territories. But when I was in Rhode Island, I'm sitting at the kitchen counter with my best friend Patrick, and I say, Patrick, you want to do something crazy this year? And he says, what are you talking about? I said, let's move, man. Like, let's get out of here. Let's get out of here, man. Like,
I fucking love it. Leap of faith, man.
Yeah, dude. We're around a whole bunch of bums, man. And the thing is, I truly felt like I was a top dog. I'm 21 at the time. Like, I'm employing my friends from high school. I'm giving mothers jobs so they can take care of their kids. I'm buying diapers and I'm paying people's cars and I'm paying their rent, and I'm talking about all this money's going through my hands, and I'm like, I'm the top dog.
You're recognizing you're making an impact, and you're having that. You have the ability, like that power, that strong influence.
That strong influence, that power, but most importantly, that I'm so high up. There's little room, like in my area, there's little room for growth for me.
And it's time to move on and grow even more.
Exactly, and that's where I envision that would happen in Cali, because I'm talking about with the average household income of $50,000. So in my area, so to have an average household income of $50,000 in the nice area, not where I was from. Average household where I was from was about $35,000.
Wow.
Household income. So that means the house, the mother, the father makes about $35,000 together. So where I was, my business operated in was about $55,000. Wow. And to have an average household income there, and I'm making way more than $55,000 personally, I'm like, damn, dude, like I'm 18 years old, I'm 21 years old making more money. But when I moved to California, the speaking part happened when I had to question, like, what am I going to do next? I closed the cell phone stores.
So you did? Okay.
I closed the cell phone stores. Unbeknownst to me, I didn't know you can sell a business.
Okay.
I had no idea you can actually sell. So I closed the cell phone stores, and I remember it was on my last location. I was finishing out some contracts with some the owners of the properties in the malls. And on my last location, someone comes up to me, why don't you sell it? I said, I can sell the business? He said, yeah, you can sell all the assets, or like the registers, the computers, the documents. I said, how do you know? I said, why don't you buy it, man? $7,000. Like why don't you buy it?
Yeah.
And the person got nervous, and he took too long. And I had a lot of money in my bank account already, so I wasn't like the $7,000 didn't move me at all, or selling the business didn't move me.
Yeah.
It was an emotional thing for me. I had to get the fuck out of there. I had to get out of my hometown. It was a necessity. Yeah. And to be honest, that I really don't share. There was a somebody from my old high school who saw me at a gas station, and I was at the gas station. Now at this time, I'm renting different cars. I have a Mercedes-Benz. I have an Audi. I was renting a new car every single week. This is the lifestyle that I was living at the time. Yeah. And I'm pumping gas, and this person recognizes me from high school. And he says, hey, man, I see you doing well, man. I see you doing well for yourself. Looks me up and down. I know that sign, that look from a mile away.
Yeah.
It was a sign of envy and jealous. Yeah. And he said,
leech almost, yeah.
You could say leech, but more of like lick. And lick in the hood means I'm going to take from you, I'm going to rob you. So not leech, more of like I'm going to catch a lick.
Yeah.
And so he's looking me up and down, and I'm like, yo, I recognize that body language. I recognize that I'm not really that safe.
Yeah.
Because I know that his best friend just went to prison a week earlier for murder. Mm-hmm. I heard about that. Mm-hmm. And I know that another friend of his just got caught with a gun, putting the gun outside while they were driving on the highway. Dang. So when he's looking at me, what's running through my mind is that he's trying to catch a lick on me. So I'm nervous as hell, but I stay calm, and I'm like, yo, I realize I gotta get the hell out of here, man.
You recognize, like, I gotta get the fuck out of here before something happens.
I already pulled the measures of not showing my face. I was not on. You see me doing podcast videos. I was never on Facebook. You can't find a picture of me online back then. You can't type in Andy Audate and find me.
Yeah.
You couldn't find me. I was different cars. I was always moving. So, but when he did that, I thought about my safety, my family, and I said, I gotta move. So I really pushed to get out of that state. I really pushed. And I said, my life is not worth the business. Okay. I gotta get out of here. So I took my money and moved. Then I became a speaker when I moved to Cali. Mm-hmm.
Now, when you went to Cali, obviously, I would imagine your store there very successful, right?
I didn't open up a store in Cali.
Oh, okay. So you didn't.
I didn't.
Okay.
I had a good amount of money where I was living in downtown LA in a luxurious apartment, and I did not work for a whole year.
Gotcha. But your intent initially was to move to the West Coast to open up a store.
No, my intent was to come to the West Coast to find out what was next. Because I
kind of like soul searching a little bit?
Yeah, soul searching. I mean, dude, I was 21. I'm like, yo, if I can just make $1 million, dude, like, what else can I do? Like, what else is possible, you know? So I said, I'm going to come to Cali. I said.
And what's out here? You know what I mean? Where are the opportunities here?
I was like, yeah, I'll be a real estate agent. I remember I came out here. I was like, I'll be a real estate agent. And then I was like, you know what? Maybe not do that. Yeah. So what else can I do? I remember there was this company. This was like when Uber was really popping off. There was this company that they were going to pay me $40,000 a year and give me a BMW. And my job was to go and sell toothbrushes to Walgreens executives.
Interesting.
It was a new toothbrush. I mean, this was like large contracts. This wasn't like, oh, I'm going to sell a toothbrush. I'm the one that is representing Oral-B's competition to get this toothbrush in every single Walgreens throughout the nation. Yeah. That's what I was going to be doing. And that person who was Russian, he also created an app that was competed against Uber. So like they were working with, like, this was like a very big company, and that didn't work out. You know, the reason why is I was so naive to like business attire and how to work in business. I went to the interview, dude, and you know the little stitching that they got over here, on your shoulder, like. Dude, I had a blazer from Macy's that my assistant from the cell phone business, she got me, and I didn't know how to dress myself. So I'm there proper, you know, confidently, but my dress attire was not on point. That's why I'm talking about, like, you got to be on point. You are going to be judged. I would probably be the best salesperson in that company for that guy, but he made a judgment on me. Like, this dude's 21 years old, doesn't know how to dress, and he's supposed to represent me at Walgreens to Walgreens and CVS executives. No, I don't think so. He didn't give me the job. Yeah, but it's probably a good thing that he didn't give me a job. Then, so I'm going off like nearly a year without working. I didn't really want to work. I had enough money that I didn't have to work, so I pretty much semi-retired. And I'm thinking about 21 semi-retired. Oh my gosh. And then, and then that's when I had a vision of me speaking on stage with Les Brown. That's when I had that direction. After praying so much, I had that direction to go to that next level.
And that's when you flew to Florida.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I joined Les Brown's program, fly to Florida. I'm in the office. They're talking about going on tour. I'm like, yo, I need to be part of that tour. Yeah. Look, the resilience that I had. So in order for you to get what you want, you need to be resilient.
Absolutely.
Write this down if you're listening to this. By any means, whatever it takes. So having that mindset, by any means, whatever it takes, that means whatever the isn't the obstacle in front of you, it does not matter. You will get what you want. So I had this vision of getting on stage with Les Brown. I need to get on stage with Les Brown. So I go to the office and they're like, yo, you're 21 years old. You're not going to go on tour with us. And I say, look, my mom, her wrist hurts. You don't understand. She's a dental hygienist. She's been working in people's mouth for the last 20 years. My brother just is about to go to college. My dad, right before I moved to California, he looked at me in the eye and he said, Andy, can you not go to California? You're the man of the house now because I just got laid off. So all of this is on me as a 21-year-old. And I'm like, fuck, I need to be successful by any means, whatever it takes. So when this guy tells me like, you can't go on tour, I'm like, yo, this guy he does not understand. Yeah. So I come back to him the next day and I say, hey, how are you, man? Give me an opportunity to go on tour. And I'm like, no, they don't. The president of the business says, look, I need you to get out of my office in the nicest way possible. Yeah. I need you to get out of my office. I got a lot of stuff on my desk. You, as well as 485 other people want to be part of this tour. Only 3 people can go. I said, look, I need to be on that tour. My mom, her wrist, my dad laid off, my brother, college. I need to be on this tour. Wow. And he says, I get it. You're hungry. You're determined. I love it. Personal development. Rock on. I need you to leave, though. Yeah. I need you to leave. And I'm like, yeah, you don't get it, dude. You don't get it. So I flew back to LA. There was a group conference call. And there's about 400 people on this conference call, all the students of this program. Yeah. And they're doing a training, and they say, does anyone have any questions? And if you have questions, press *6. To be on the queue to answer your question. I
love where this is going.
So I'm like, all right. I remember I'm at the corner of an empty apartment downtown Los Angeles. I press *6, boom, and it says, you have been unmuted. And then they say, we have Andy from Los Angeles, California. Yeah. And I say, hey, Eric, man, give me a chance to be on that tour, man. You got to understand. Hey, man, this is not the time. Andy. Hey, I'm like, hey, Andy, this is not the time. You have been muted. And I'm like, yo, fuck. Like every opportunity that's in front of me is being like shot down. But the mindset, by any means, whatever it takes. Bandwidth, by any means, whatever it takes. I fly back to Florida. I go right into the office. Give me a chance.
Like, not this guy again.
Give me a chance. And he said, you're not gonna quit, are you? I said, you can email me. I can't quit, Andy. I will not quit on this target. I will not quit on my goal. Yeah. All right, man. All right, we start in Orlando.
Damn. How did that feel?
Look, I didn't feel. I don't. When I hit the target like that, I don't really feel a certain way. Like, it doesn't.
Really?
Yeah. I don't feel like, oh yes, I got like.
No emotions. No nothing. Like,
let me tell you something, Ejay. I just started feeling emotions a year ago. Wow. I was completely emotionless for a majority of my life. So I didn't really have emotion. It was just what I needed to do. I went through a personal development training program that really broke me down and showed me why, and that's how I started feeling emotions. But before that, I didn't feel any emotions. So it's only been like 11 months I actually feel emotions.
Wow. So they took you in, and
so now I'm traveling on the road. So I leave LA, I'm in Miami, and then we get into a car. I'm traveling on the road. We get into a Dodge Caravan, a white Dodge Caravan, and I'm in the back seat and I'm on the laptop, and they're like telling me what to do as far as like how we're gonna sell tickets. So when I go on tour, my job now is to sell tickets. I'm not even a speaker at this moment. I'm what we call FSR, and I'm a field sales representative. And I'm going out selling tickets to different companies, to different individuals, going to different events and recruiting people to come to my event. But it was the best thing because now I learned how to actually sell the tickets, and now I can do it. And I did it on my own.
Yeah. Because you wanted to speak, but then now again you got that knowledge, the back end.
I wanted to be the guy on stage.
Yeah.
But didn't realize like there's a process. Okay. So you got to TTP. You got to trust the process. And so I didn't trust the process. I wanted to be like, I want to be on stage. I got to get on stage. So I see these great people on stage. I'm in the back of the room like, I got to be there one day. I'll be there one day. Yeah. I'll be on stage. Now I'm on stage very often now.
Dude, man.
So, let me tell you something that was really dope. So this was 2016. I'm on tour. I'm in the Dodge Caravan, and we're traveling around the country. Like, I'm on flights. I'm like this. I'm living the life. I'm in hotel rooms, different hotel. I'm in Houston, Texas. I'm in Dallas. I'm in New York. I'm living the life, man. So I thought, but the craziest thing was I kicked off the Progression Conference tour, because now I host. Fast forward 2 years after I get off tour, I'm hosting my own events.
You start your own thing.
I start my own thing,
okay.
and now I was doing a bunch of events in Los Angeles called Progression Conference.
Yeah,
and there was a time where now I got to expand. So the first expansion that I experienced was bringing my event to Texas, and I don't remember how I got the idea to go to Texas, but I ended up saying that I'm gonna host an event in Dallas and I'm gonna host an event in Houston back to back.
Yeah.
And the car that we used was a Dodge Caravan, a white Dodge Caravan. Wow. It was crazy. The same type of car that I drove 2 years prior.
Yeah.
And it was interesting how we got that. It really humbled me because
it wasn't on purpose too.
It wasn't on purpose. It was more so.
That's crazy, man.
I was more so forced because I'm 24 years old now, and to rent a luxurious car, you got to be 25 years old. So, and then to rent, if I rent a car now at 24 and under, I got to pay like an extra $28 per day.
Okay.
So I wanted to waive that fee, and somebody who follows me on social media reached out to me and literally was like, I'll take the hit. I'm 32 years old. I'll rent the car for you. You guys drive it down there and just bring it back. So I said, all right. So I met the guy up at Enterprise, where Enterprise, the car's under his name. Then they asked me who's going to be the driver. And they say, Andy's going to be driving. So they take my license and they run my information. And they said, you're 24, there's going to be an extra fee. And then, so the guy that is renting the car for me says, so there's an extra fee regardless if I do it or he does it? He's like, yeah, there's an extra fee regardless.
That's weird.
So I said, okay. Yeah. Then I was like, hey, bro, thank you so much. I guess I don't need you to rent the car for me. So the car that I wanted to get was Suburban. That's the car that we had. Mm-hmm. We got a Suburban. I'm talking about the black on black, tinted windows, tinted down. We traveling.
Look at VIP.
Me and my team were traveling VIP to Texas, so people in Texas could come see Andy Audate speak and experience progression at the Progression Conference, which is this one-day event that I'm hosting throughout the country, sharing business strategies and personal development strategies. So I'm on my way to Texas. I want to go to Texas. And they're like, hey, man, because of your age, we can't actually give you a Suburban. It's actually considered luxury class. And I'm like, dude, I have to leave to go to Texas today. Like, I can't wait.
That's so weird. I didn't know there was an age limit on that.
There's the age limit. And I said, I have to leave right now. Like, I can't wait. Okay. And they said, if you want a car right now, the only option is a Dodge Caravan. And I said, wow, it's a Dodge Caravan.
And you're like, is it white?
Yeah, I didn't even think about it until later on.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot, this is like a recap. It humbled me because it brought me back to my beginnings.
Yeah, that is nuts. Where did you might have highlighted it earlier, where did the name Progression come from?
Progression. When I owned the cell phone stores, the company name was Progression Wireless. Mm-hmm. And because I believed that the cell phone store was going to be a filtration system for my hood, mm-hmm. that people that lived in my impoverished environment were going to come work for me. And while they were working for me, they were going to learn personal development growth. We're going to play motivational speakers. And this is how I was going to change my hood from being a negative place to be a positive. I literally thought that this little straw of a company was going to take care of this ocean of a city. And that people were going to come work for me. And while they worked for me, they were going to leave a totally different person, and recognizing that their goals, their dreams are possible. I had this mindset back then. Mm-hmm. This possibilities, growth mindset. I had this mindset back then. So I said, you're going to come work for me and you're going to progress. Mm-hmm. It's not going to be the end all be all for your life, but you're going to come work for me and you're going to progress. What we're going to call the company, guys? Progression Wireless. Mm-hmm. So we call the company Progression Wireless. Then one of my employees, I remember I was having trouble with a couple of the employees. I mean, because I hired people from the hood, I expect drama, So I have, a couple of employees that are working for me that are dealing with boyfriends and negative stuff and partying and drugs and alcohol. And I went to my manager, Joe, And I said, Joe, why do you think like people come work here and not expect greatness? Like, and he said, Andy, number one, some people just come here for a paycheck.
Yeah.
They come here for the hourly. I said, what? I said, you think people just come here for a paycheck?
Yeah.
I was so far removed. I was so focused on my vision. I forgot like why people actually came for applied for the job.
Yeah.
So I said, people come for a paycheck, and he's like, yeah, dude. I mean, that's why we work for you.
Yeah.
I said, okay, and he said, but most importantly, you can't change people, Andy. You can only help people help themselves.
So true. Yeah.
I said, get the fuck out of here, bro. I said, I never thought about it like that.
Yeah.
I can't change
perspective.
people.
You got a new perspective on it.
I was trying to change my hood. I can't change the hood. I can only help people help themselves. Yeah. So when I came over here to California and I recognized, the direction that I was going, I decided to call it progression, that essentially that I would use the event as an opportunity for people to elevate and gain mentorship.
Yeah.
So remember I was talking about the guy with the earrings wearing a suit?
Yeah.
That was my boss at Metro PCS. He was black. I saw him wearing the suit, the tie, he had the earrings, and he was bald. I was like, this was like the guy that I emulated to be one day.
Yeah.
Be that boss. And so fast forwarding to 2000, to me being in California, recognizing that now I'm that boss now. I want to use these events that I'm hosting as a way for people to gain mentorship, because I had a mentor. That guy who owned the cell phone stores mentored me.
Yeah.
That's how I was able to make my first $1 million.
Yeah.
So then if I recognize that mentorship is that important, I want you guys to also realize that mentorship is the most important thing. If I realize that mentorship is that important, then what I need to do is take people from my network. I got millionaires in my phone books. I got billionaires in my phone books. If I take those relationships and put them on stage and then bring the everyday person, or bring the person who's really trying to grow, scale their business, grow their mindset. Yeah. If I bring the two, this is how I can really change the world. I'm bringing the two together. My network, the network of high top level entrepreneurs, and the person who wants to grow together. So that way you can find the mentors and grow your mindset, your business, and your relationships and your life in general.
Dude, I love it. I think a lot of people overlook the whole mentor thing. Looking for a mentor. And it doesn't have to, and some people feel like they need permission to have a mentor. Sometimes you could even actually have a mentor. That mentor may not even know that they are influencing that person. But I want to ask you, being that you've had multiple mentors in your life, in your opinion, how does someone reach out or to seek a mentor?
Bandwidth. First of all, you want to find the vision that you have for your life.
Okay.
So figure out the vision that you have for your life. Who do you aspire to be? Second thing, you want to find someone who has that. Now, here's the challenge about mentorship. What you're going to experience when you find mentors, you may find that not every mentor that you have, like that you aspire to have every area of their life. So for example, I might have a mentor who's really great at fitness, but his business life is terrible. So I don't want his business life, but I want to learn his fitness life.
Yeah.
How does he do, work out so much, and how does he have that certain body? So I might want to learn that. And so I'll learn the business aspect of his life, gain that aspect. Then I'll find the person who has a great business life, gain that part. And then I'll say, you know what, this is the type of family that I want to create. Then I'll find the family man that I want to create and learn how to be that family man and mesh all those different aspects together.
Put them all
together.
And
then that is who Andy Audate is now.
Dude, that's incredible. Yeah.
So you want to find people that you want to emulate different areas of their life and learn from that area. Don't go to the gym with the person who's overweight.
Yeah, definitely.
Don't go to the. It's not gonna work. The person is struggling. Like I'm not anyone's personal trainer. You feel me?
Yeah.
But I can be someone's business coach. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I can coach the everyday person and make $15,000 a month. But I'm not gonna be your personal trainer.
Yeah.
I'm a little overweight. I'm a little chubby right now. So you want to gain different aspects of the person's life and learn from them.
And sometimes you could get the people who actually have experts in multiple places. Like you said, like someone could be really, really fit and also be And you want to emulate in business as well.
Exactly.
You know what I'm
There are mentors where they have it all.
They have it all. Yeah, yeah.
And so if you feel like this person has it all for you, then what you want to do is you want to provide value.
Yeah.
And your biggest point of value is going to be giving them something. You want to pay them.
Mm-hmm.
And how you want to pay them, you want to pay them in a form of currency. So there's 5 different currencies. Currency number 1 is what we all know, which is the United States denomination, which is cash. Number 1 currency that we all know, most common, money. Mm-hmm. But there's 4 more. Second currency is relationships. Mm-hmm. Is using your relationship capital to support other people. Mm-hmm. Hey, this person that, like, for example, I have a mentor. We both have a mutual mentor, Sam Bakhtiar. Mm-hmm. So when Sam, when I wanted to develop my relationship with Sam, I had a relationship with Les Brown. Sam shared with me, like, he's like, hey man, I love Les Brown. I listened to Les Brown's content, but I never met him, never talked to him. I said, oh, you never did? Well, I want Sam to mentor me. I want to give value to Sam, so I paid Sam. I didn't give him cash, but I paid him in a relationship.
But you give back. You gave back. You give first.
I give first,
yes,
yeah.
Yes.
So I put Sam and Les Brown on the phone together.
Good.
I said, hey, why don't you guys talk? Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't just do that with any random person.
Absolutely.
But I put Sam and Les on the phone together. So relationship, it's number 2. Number 3 is energy. Energy is when you work for somebody. So when I worked at Wendy's when I was 16 years old, Wendy's didn't pay me for my time. People get it confused, like Wendy's paid me for my time. No, they measured their payment by time, but Wendy's didn't pay me for time. They paid me by energy. I had to flip the burger. I'd use my energy to flip the burger. So energy. So when I worked for James Jackson, who owned the Metro PCS stores, mm-hmm. I paid him in energy. So he's telling me what to do, so that way my energy can make him money. Yeah. But what I was doing as I was learning what to do, while he was teaching me what to do, was I was learning. So I pay him in energy. He teaches me one of the most important currencies, knowledge. So we're on the 4th one, knowledge. Knowledge is a form of currency. So if you have a mentor, there's someone that you want to have them mentor you, there's probably something that you know that they don't know. I look at these older guys who are like 50 years old, 60 years old, 45 years old, and they want to do the social media space. Mm-hmm. There's a 20-year-old guy right now that wants that 50-year-old guy to mentor him. How do I mentor him? Hey, man, why don't you show him how to use social media?
Help him manage his shit.
Manage his social media. Show him, hey, but let me show you how to do an Instagram story swipe up. Yeah. And that person's going to say, wow, you are giving to me. The only right thing for me to do is to give to you. Mm-hmm. And the last form of currency is barter, which is the exchange of a product. That's not really going to do anything for you with mentorship, but barter is the exchange of a product, or exchange of a product for a product, or a service for a service, or a service for a product. Mm-hmm. So you got 5 currencies: money, relationships, energy, knowledge, and barter.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's also important to note that a lot of successful people, they get fulfilled by passing it on. You know what I mean? Passing on their knowledge, passing on their wisdom. And and it's just like almost like a bonus for them too when they receive that value back, which is something they're not used to, because usually people are demanding from them, can I have your time? Can you send me money? Can you do me a favor, right? And it's all about giving first.
Yeah, you got to give. Last night I was sharing with you earlier. I was saying, like, Ali Zamani was came on here, man, and I was thinking about the relationship that he and I had, and how we built our relationship. He found me on social media. I never met him. He found me on social media and he said, I want to be a speaker. He calls me and he says, Andy, I would love to speak. I said, okay, great. It's $10,000 if you want to speak with me. And he says, oh, okay, like, that's not really the direction that I was going into.
Yeah, that's not what you had in mind.
That's not what you had in mind. Like most speakers don't actually know the speaking business.
Yeah.
So, or people who want to become speakers. So he calls me and I'm like, yeah, it's $10,000. And he's like, oh, that's not really what I had in mind, but okay, I understand now how the business works. Mm-hmm. So I said, okay. Then I said, you know what? Why don't we do a podcast? So I gave to him. I gave to him by getting him exposure, which is what he wanted. So I gave to him, and I learned about his business. Then there was an opportunity for the Progression Conference, and he started giving to me. And the way he gave to me was relationships. Mm-hmm. So he started introducing me. He introduced me to Sam. So he's like, hey, meet Sam, meet Chase, meet this person, meet that person, meet this person.
He's a master networker.
Master networker, amazing. Yeah. And he started. So he gave me value by relationships. So then, you know what I said to him? I said, hey man, you want to speak? Bump the $10,000, bro. You've introduced me to so many powerful people. I'll have you on my stage.
Yeah.
No. Now this completely changed my business model after I did this. But I said, I'll have you speak on my stage. And he brought people to the event, and he introduced me to high level people that were also speakers that would have probably took me months or even years to build a relationship with, and he connected us right away. And so then I had to give back. So now I give back to him by giving him what he wants, which was the stage time. So he got the stage time, and he the ability to get the video footage. I created videos for him, pictures, the whole 9 yards. Like I want to give as much as possible to him. And then yesterday he poured right back into me. And last night, he was coaching me and sharing with me about having exit strategies in the business and creating a $1 billion company and having a $1 billion mindset. And during the coaching process, he had me write down like I am a billionaire by the age of 27, and like he's now opening up my mind, stretching my mind, and at this moment, like he's completely giving to me. But let me share something with you. During that time, I automatically feel like I got to do something for him. Like I gotta do like he, and it's not even about money. It's like I gotta do something for him. But then I paused and I said, this is a fulfilling thing for him as well. For a person to give is actually fulfilling.
Yes.
It's because it shows that I'm not just about taking. We as hunters, as entrepreneurs, are constantly focused on what we gotta get. We got to get the deal. We got to get the paper. We got to get the contract. We got to get paid. We got to get employees. We're always focused on acquisition as entrepreneurs that we forget to give. But when we do give, it's a fulfilling experience. But we give to elevate. We don't give when it's like demanded upon us. Like when someone comes up to you and like, hey, can I buy you lunch? Like, no, dude. I don't want to eat lunch with you, man. And I used to be that guy though, to ask people for lunch. But I don't want to eat lunch with you. Give the best as much as possible, and watch that person give as much as possible to you. So if you're looking for a mentor right now, if you're looking for someone to really teach you, if you're looking for a relationship, the way to do that is to give. Give relationships, give money, and money can be used. Like yo, buy my course. You want access to me? Don't hit me up on DM talking about I'll take you to a $30 lunch. Buy my course. Buy. There was a guy in Africa, and he was like, Andy, can I want to ask you some questions about my business. And I said to him, like, yo, like I don't know if you're actually gonna take the stuff I'm gonna give you. So that'll be wasting my time. So you know what this guy does? He goes online and buys my course. A guy in Africa goes online and buys my course. And then he's like, I just wanted to know, like, hey, if like this question, I said, you know what? Of course, let's get on a call. So I'm talking to this dude. I'm giving as much as possible because I realize that he's willing to invest. So you want to give out of the 5 currencies, and once you give, expect something in return. Maybe not right away, but definitely expect something in return.
I think there's 3 things I want to know. One, we share something mutual, and that Ali did the same thing for me. And I think you made an important point that a lot of people think that the only way to give is sometimes money. But in return, and the way the law of attraction works sometimes is you don't get that back in the form of cash sometimes. It's in the form of relationship. It's in the form of experience, in the form of that wisdom. You know what I'm saying? And in addition to that, this is exactly what you said. I think sometimes a lot of people give, and we expect so much in return. And I think that's kind of wrong in the sense that if you expect so much, you're only going to be let down. Depending on who the person is. Right. Yeah. If you know, like, you're giving to somebody who brings value back, then that's a little different, being that giving person. But if you just always give to somebody and you're like, man, the world owes me everything, you're just going to be fucking let down.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
So, but anyway, so progression, let's talk about it real quick. Progression, you've had how many progression conferences?
A lot. I don't know, man. I think less than 10.
Less than 10?
Okay. Yeah.
What's the biggest lessons that you've learned since starting progression and everything that, cause it's a huge event.
That's good.
It's a huge event. I'm sure there's a lot of back end, a lot of building in the process, a lot of lessons you've learned. What's definitely something that you've learned, maybe about yourself, maybe about the business? I don't know.
Yeah, definitely about the business is systems.
Okay.
It's creating systems and onboarding people because without, and this is for any business, this is not just about progression.
Yes.
But essentially progression was something that was scratch. So I didn't have much of a model to follow. Although I was on tour with people, like I didn't duplicate their model. I had to create my own model, my own business model. So because I was creating something from scratch, I had to create systems that other people can come in and support me in the events and duplicate. So right now we're creating systems to scale, because now we're doing events where it'll be back to back. So I'll give you an example. Like in Progression Conference on the tour, there's 1 week where we travel into Philadelphia on Monday, and we're doing the Progression Teen, where on Monday I'll speak to 2 high schools, one early in the morning and then one in the late morning. Then we go right after that we go to a hotel and we set up for an event in Philadelphia on Tuesday, a Progression Conference, the adult event on Tuesday.
Wow. Okay.
Then we have dinner. Then we do a 12-hour event. Then we break down, and I travel to New York from Philadelphia, and we do a Progression Teen event. So 2 events on Wednesday. Then we leave, and we go to the hotel, and we set up for a Progression Conference in New York on Wednesday night to have the event on Thursday, 12 hours. Then we leave New York, and then we travel to Providence, Rhode Island, and we set up for another Progression Conference that next day. So we're doing 3 Progression Conferences. Just so you know, 2018 it took me 9 months to do 1 Progression Conference.
Yeah, a lot of planning, I bet. Yeah.
9 months to do 1 Progression Conference. Now we're doing them in like 25 days, 30 days, filling out the room. And so we'll do a Progression Conference. We'll do 3 Progression Conference in a week in different states.
That's nuts.
No. And then I decided to add on the high school part where I get to give back and give to high school part. The giving reminds me of an event. So progression, how important progression is, man. I went to an event very similar to progression. Literally the same thing that I'm doing now is what happened at this event. There's a speaker and a real estate investor called Grant Cardone. He has a successful business. He does a little over $100 million a year. He has about $1 billion in real estate holdings, and so he's a very wealthy man. And I snuck in to have dinner with him.
Nice.
And at this dinner, his business partner saw my hustle. They see the grind. They see where I'm at. They like, yo, I can relate to this person.
They're like, Uncle G, you seeing this kid right now?
Yeah, and that's really what happened at the dinner table.
Yeah.
Literally what happened. There's about 600 people at this one event. He spoke, and his business partner comes up to him, and there's a group of fans, hardcore fans around him, like, sign my baby, like, sign my book, sign everything, like sign my shoe, like please, like, sign my forehead, like, sign my phone, you know. And I overhear the business partner comes out of nowhere and says, hey, where are we having dinner at? And then I hear the Grant say, we're going to Fleming's. And I'm looking at the lips, and I make out what they said. I'm like looking around, I'm like, am I the only one that heard this?
Yeah.
So then I go downstairs, I Google Fleming's. I realized that Fleming's was outside of the hotel, and Grant and the other people, the whole posse goes up to their room. I'm sure they're dropping off their clothes, dropping off their bags. I go to Fleming's and I order a table for 4, and it was me and another guy. And the guy looks at me and he says, why did you order a table for 4? I'm writing this story in my new book right now, The Progressive Economy.
This is awesome, dude. I'm loving this story, dude.
I ordered this table. Remember, to have a mindset of bandwidth by any means, whatever it takes. So I'm at this. I'm
taking initiative. You know,
you gotta have whatever it takes. So you take initiative. You decide to take action and you move forward. So I'm like, yo, I need to get in this table. I need to get in this group. I don't know what's gonna happen, but let me show you how this instant changed my life. I'm charging at this moment. I'm charging about $300 a month for my coaching. So if you want to coach with Andy Audate at that time, it's $300 a month. So I'm at this point. At this moment, I know that they're gonna come downstairs at some point, right? I hope so. So because you know things could change. Yeah. So I say, hey, can I get a table for 4, please? And they're like, oh, where's the rest of your party? It's just me and another guy. And I'm like, oh yeah, they're coming. They're on their way. Yeah. And then so fast forward about 10 minutes. 10-15 minutes, and my heart's beating. I'm like, man, I'm really about to do this. I'm really about to like have dinner with a billionaire.
Yeah.
I'm really about to have dinner with the billionaire, his posse, and his friends, and I'm gonna be, at the time I was 22, and I'm gonna be the youngest person in the room. I bet you.
Mm-hmm.
So that they call us for the table for 4, and they say, "Is your party here?" And I say, "No." It's like they're like, "Well, you can take the seat, and then when they come, they can just sit down."
Oh.
I was like, "Okay."
Yeah.
So then we take our seat, and then they asked me what would I like to order. I said, "Let me order a water, because I ain't paying for anything." So let me order a water. I order a water, and then next thing you know, I see this group. Like you can tell in the whole entire restaurant, the energy shifts. Attention focuses on this party that just came in. A group of people that just came in deep. They go to the back into a VIP closed door room, VIP room. It's go time. I go to the bathroom. I look in the mirror. I put water on my face. I said, this is what you were designed for. You were designed to grow at a rapid pace. You were designed to be around these people. And Audate, do you know who you are? I had to check myself. And Audate, do you know who you are? Like, you are that billionaire. You are that multimillionaire. Not yet, but you are, man. Check yourself. So I look in the mirror. I'm like, yeah, I am that person. Wipe the water on my face. Get out of that room.
I do the same shit every morning.
Yeah,
dude.
baby. Yeah.
Before the workout too, bro.
Oh, before the workout.
Yeah. I'm gonna kill this workout. Let's go. You know.
I double take on my suit like this. I double take on my suit and I go into that VIP room.
Yeah.
I look at the closest open seat. My heart's beating as hell. I take a seat down and the waiter comes up to me. I know I'm not supposed to be in this room. Are they gonna ask me? Am I supposed to be in this room? They say, what would you like to order? I say, it's order time. I say, oh shoot. Let me get a potato soup and a wine, please. Order the potato soup and a wine. They bring the food. Oh man, I'm good now. I'm good.
Yeah.
So I'm having dinner with these people. So they ask me, what do you do? I'm like, hey, I host seminars. So I asked Grant. I say, hey man, like, hey, how much would it cost to like have you at my event? He says like $40,000. And I was like, oh, okay. Like my reaction is not like, oh my gosh, $40,000.
Yeah.
Remember, I'm charging $300.
Yeah.
A month, like there's no way. So he says $40,000, and then his partner starts asking me questions. They see my hustle. His partner invites me to his office. Bradley invites me to his office. Says, "Hey man, why don't you come on my podcast? I love the hustle, man. I just like your vibe. Come into my office in Vegas." I'm like, yo, these people just invited me to Vegas, like. Then Grant starts asking me questions about my business, and he says, "Hey man, the first thing you need to do is increase your price." I'm like, what?
Mm-hmm.
Like you need to ask more money. So I took his advice, and that Saturday the following Saturday, I had a prospect meeting with someone who wanted to coach with me. I was originally gonna say, hey, you want to coach with me? It's $300. Mm-hmm. I said, instead of that, I took Grant's advice and I said, you know what? You want to coach with me? $5,000. And then they said, $5,000? Okay, let's do it. She went and got a loan for $5,000. She paid me for coaching. The next day, she went to her boyfriend and she said, hey, I'm coaching with Andy Audate. I think you should do it. Get yourself a loan. They both got a loan. I made $10,000 that one weekend. So I go from $300 in coaching to $10,000. Now I'm like, yo, man, what else is possible, man?
Yeah.
You know. So I go at this time. I just started the business and I was struggling financially. I didn't even think I wrote a book yet. I was struggling financially because all the money that I made from the cell phone store depleted. Remember, I wasn't working. I'm talking about like a year and some change, 2 years almost go by, and I'm spending all this money.
Yeah.
And I wasn't saving money. I wasn't conservative. I was always on a flight to Miami.
Yeah.
I was always paying for stuff. I was traveling. I was living in luxurious apartments. And then the money went down. I didn't have a source of income. And then that's when they suggested I raise my price. And then since then, man, it's been history, man.
Dude, man, that's a pretty incredible story. I like that.
Yeah,
man.
so
about
now
taking initiative, man.
Now I'm giving people the opportunity to learn what I've learned, in growing a business, structuring the systems in a company, scaling your business, making at least your first $100,000. If not, if you're past that, making your first $1 million. I've done it all. So I've experienced poverty. I've experienced a lot of money and in between. So now the Progression Conference is really bringing the two together and giving people access to that new level of income, that new level of freedom, that new level of understanding of how to get what it is that you truly desire.
Mm-hmm. Dude, I love it. And again, I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to be a speaker at the Progression Conference, which will be held October 18th at the Westin Hotel in LA.
Listen, Elliot. Hey, for the people that want to come to the Progression Conference, that want to see EJ, that want to see myself, hey, this is what I'll do. Because I don't know who your audience is, and I don't know who's listening to this. And I just feel it in my heart because when you guys read my story, the people that listen to this podcast, there's a story of me wanting to go to a seminar, and the seminar cost too much. And I really wanted to go, and I didn't have enough money. And that seminar was the event that I actually met Grant at the time. And because I went to that seminar, my whole life changed. So it cost a lot of money, and I didn't have enough money. And, essentially I had to sneak myself in. And at the Progression Conference, you ain't going to sneak in. All right? So I snuck in at that event, but at the Progression Conference, our security tight. You ain't going to sneak in. Yeah. My team going to stop you. So what I'm going to do is for your audience only is they can go get a ticket at no cost.
I appreciate it.
At no cost.
You guys listening to this?
This is for the parables listeners. No matter what part of the country we're at, you can get a ticket at no cost. So if you got people in Florida, that's fine. If you got people in Texas, that's fine. Georgia, wherever they're at in the country, go to progressionticket.com. Progressionticket.com. And you're going to check out. And when you go and check out, you're going to type in the word invited by Andy and the coupon code. So it's going to take that price of $300 for that ticket or $99 depending on the market. And that whole cost is going to be waived. Invited by Andy. One word together, all together, no spaces. Invited by Andy, but is a coupon code, and that'll waive your fee. And you'll be able to bring in, you'll be able to come in with yourself and a guest.
Man, we appreciate it. The audience appreciates it. You guys, I hope you guys heard that, because I got to tell you right now, all it takes sometimes is just one meetup, one conversation, one get-together, one seminar, one mastermind, one conference. Sometimes it just takes one simple thing like that, one investment in your afternoon to change the trajectory and the direction of your life. And for Andy to offer that to you guys, I hope you guys take advantage of that. Again, invited by Andy. Use that promo code.
We could talk about numbers. I want to talk about numbers real quick because to show perspective. Now, currently, to date, we have months that are ranging between $50,000 and $80,000 in my company. Just 1 month, and I make $80,000 in 1 month. Back then, before I was charging $300, I would make probably $1,500 a month. So $1,500 to $80,000, a huge difference. Had I not gone to that one-day event, that one-day seminar, and by the way, just so you know, once you read the book, The Progressive Economy, that's coming out, the new book that's going to be releasing soon in the next few months, and you'll see, I go into detail about the story because this story was so life-changing. Had I not gone to that event, which, by the way, I went to that event 3 hours before the event ended. Had I not gone to that event, I would probably still be charging $300.
Wow.
So my influence, my impact that I have for this world would be essentially diminished because I wouldn't have the funds. Like now we have nearly a $10,000 marketing budget that I have a group of people. I have 19 people on staff that are just focused on marketing, blogs, Instagram, social media. Earlier I was telling you, I was like, yeah, I don't post on my own Instagram. I'm on Instagram. I type, I do my own stories. I do my own messages. But I have a team behind me that takes my content and flips it. Yeah. Because I'm dumping into the market, and my influence, my impact would be diminished because I wouldn't have had the money. So you need to have the money. And the way that I was able to get the money was not by the customer right away. It was by the knowledge. And the knowledge that I had by going to that one-day seminar. Yeah. That's why I talk about don't be average. Yeah. No more average. Get out of average. Get out of your own head and get into a group of people like Ejay, like myself, and the people that I bring to the one-day seminar. Get around this group of multi-millionaires because there's something that they know that you don't know. If you're not making $1 million right now, there's something that we know that you don't know. And by showing up, remember, write this down. The opportunity is in the show up. By you showing up, you're going to receive an opportunity. You will receive an opportunity. And it's huge. It's funny because you don't know who's going to be in that room. Sam was in that room in that dinner. I had no idea.
Was he?
Sam
Oh,
was
with Grant Cardone?
Yeah.
Damn.
Sam is someone who we work out with in the morning now. Sam is a great friend of mine, great mentor of mine, and I ended up connecting with him years after that event. But yes, he happened to be at that dinner, and I had no idea. And he was a speaker at that event. And I didn't know who Sam was at the time because when I walked into the event, he was speaking. So he was already in his presentation. And there was one thing that he said that will always stick with me. He said, proximity is power.
Yes.
Then he got off stage, and I did not know who that guy was. It was just a random speaker.
Yeah.
Fast forward a couple of years later, he ends up becoming a great friend, a great mentor.
He spoke at Progression Conference last year, right?
He spoke at Progression Conference, and he's going to be speaking at other Progression Conferences. So you never know. The opportunity is in the show up, and that's why I decided to take it out of my heart and give you an opportunity to show up to the Progression Conference at no cost if you're listening to this podcast.
Dude, man, I appreciate it, dude. I appreciate
you,
you coming on the parables. Real quick, I do not want to forget. First off, so again, Progression Conference. Get your tickets at progressionticket.com. Andy, your book, just real quick, No More Average. You could get this. I'm going to leave a link. If you're interested, no More Average. If you're interested in buying his book, I'll leave a link so you could go there and purchase it. He has a new book coming out. In addition to that, I'm so proud of Andy. He actually just launched his podcast.
The Progression Show.
The Progression Show. I can't wait. You know how I'm passionate about this platform and everything that's doing for me, and I cannot wait for it to help you. And lastly, where can everybody find you if anybody wants to?
Andy Audate, man. AndyAudate.com. You want to go to AndyAudate.com and AUDATE.com, AndyAudate.com. So Andy Audate on all social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. But definitely you want to stop at AndyAudate.com and sign up for the newsletter. I'm going to send you some content on a regular basis, but also be able to transform your life. So the first place that you want to stop is AndyAudate.com.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I appreciate it. Be on the lookout for me and Andy. I already see it. I know we're going to be working a lot together, making a massive impact that they're providing value for you all. And I appreciate you, Andy, coming on the parables. The last thing you got to do,
show up.
You got to show up, but also with you got to sign the infamous canvas, man.
Let's do it.
You can do that. And just real quick, guys, again, if you guys are listening or watching, do me a favor. If you found value in this episode, please tag me and Andy. Take a screenshot and share it. Let us know that you are listening. If you know of anybody that this episode or the parables can impact, please share it with them. Also, for visibility, and I appreciate it so much if you guys could leave a rating on iTunes, leave a rating and a small review. I appreciate it. We also sell merchandise. If you're interested, shop.ejcruise.com. Look at this guy already.
I'm on Instagram. We're pushing.
Shop.ejcruise.com if you want to support. But otherwise, just you listening alone is enough for me. I appreciate it.
I'm on Instagram. I'm always on Instagram. So if you are watching this, listen to this podcast right now, tag me. I'm gonna tag you back. I'm gonna put you on my social media.
There we go.
I'm on Instagram as we speak right now, and I'll post you. Andy Audate on Instagram, baby.
I love it, man. Parables Podcast with Andy Audate. We are out of here.
Thank you so much, Ejay, for having me on, man.
Later, guys.